Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard, and it's a damn fine day to talk about a book. And today we're here for a book review. We're going to talk about Lowlands by Adam Cosco. This book was sent to me for review. I mean, I've said this multiple times in other videos, but that's what I used to do. Like, I used to get review books sent to me, and that's really all I would read. I would read 100 to 120 books a year, and don't get me wrong. As I got to doing that, there were artists or authors that I already knew and really liked, and I'd read three of their books, and they'd send me their new one. But there was a lot of brand new stuff, like new to me authors that I would get into, and that for me back then was where the magic came from. If I could find a book that no one else was talking about yet, even like I used to be big into like independent horror Twitter, but I would still get a lot of books that nobody else was really talking about yet. And if I got a hold of them, and if they were good, like for me, that's where the magic happened. Where I was able to bring new things in front of horror lovers. So this is the first book I've accepted like that in probably 3 years. So I'm gonna use the first part of this video to kind of open myself back up for that a little bit. I would like to do a review book, a lesser known author, maybe once a month. Now, I will say that I am not a fluff factory, that you will get an honest review of your book, but you will get your book in front of at least some type of audience. If you're interested in that, my email address is kevinwitten11@gmail.com. Okay. So, Adam Cosco, he reached out to me, sent me two books. This one looks more along, my lines, more in my wheelhouse. Looks like horror. It is called The Heart of a Child. But this one is his new one that it comes out, I believe, January 27th of 2025. There's already a Kindle order up for it because I went up to Amazon because, to be honest with you, I wanted to see if there were any other reviews of this book out there yet. There are not. So I will likely be the first when I compose my Amazon review here in the near future. But I like this book. Probably for me, if I had to put a star value on it, I would say 3.5, 2, 4. Probably closer to 3.5. But anyway, it is a apocalyptic thriller that takes place mostly in like an apartment complex because people are shut in there. Very reminiscent of the pandemic, but for different reasons, and I'll get into those different reasons in a second. One thing I'll say is that the writing style felt a bit original, a bit different. Now I think some readers might look at some of those blurred lines that come through as part of this style as a negative. I tended to see it more of a positive, and I think I know why. Adam Cosco is really more of a screenwriter than anything else. That's where he started writing. These are his first and only two books, is my understanding. Now, what he really specialized in and won some awards for, is my understanding from the back of the book, and I'm not going to read from the back of the book, but is VR films, which I know absolute shit about virtual reality and VR films, but you know, after reading that, after uh, knowing that he had kind of specialized in these VR films, whatever they may be. I mean, I get it; it's a film in virtual reality, right? But like some of the way that the scenes were played out, some of the way this was written, it was kind of like okay, I get it type moment for me. But anyway, let's do some synopsis, and then we'll get a little bit more into it. Lowlands unfolds in a world teetering on the edge, reeling from a series of apocalyptic underground explosions. For Grace and Tom, confined within their apartment block, survival means adapting to a new reality where the terror of the unknown inches closer each day. As foreboding visions tangle with the secrets they've long buried, Grace is forced to confront her own past and the dark forces that manipulate humanity from the shadows. Lowlands is a haunting exploration of the razor thin boundary between faith and reason, reality and nightmare, and the seductive lure of hope when all else is lost. So, early on, Grace and Tom, is that right? Grace and Tom. Grace seems to have a military agency type background. She has the ability to like astral project, to see things, to help the government in certain situations, certain cases, because she can project herself and witness things that no one else can witness without like being there in a physical form. So and we don't really just get that up front. That's something we kind of learn over time. And Tom is more on the medical side of things. He's a doctor, and he is kind of, I'm gonna go a little bit probably further past like what I read into this, because I don't think it's super clear, is that he's into like early disease detection type stuff. And that's going to be important here in a second. So he's like into, early disease detection and like digital device type monitoring that would, you know, tell us when things are happening, rather than constantly being reactive to, oh, I feel sick, I'm going to the doctor. This stuff would constantly kind of, I guess, keep us in the loop as far as how our health was going. But just this idea, this underlying idea of like early disease detection. So remember that. So okay, a bunch of underground explosions. Tom and Grace, they're in their apartment. We witnessed one of these happening in Iran, and kind of think it's like a single thing, a terrorism thing, a thing over there, a thing in the Middle East, a thing that we may not have to worry about, and then one happens, you know, within viewing distance. I don't know if it's next door. It's not next door. It's a ways away. But and then this huge black cloud starts to envelop the surrounding area, and it starts to infect people. And then we find out that these have happened everywhere. They've happened everywhere, every major city, every populated area in the world, pretty much. And they seemed, they were underground, so they've been put there. This is a coordinated, organized effort. And this, and when the cloud, when the whatever it is starts to infect people, they come down with this disease, this system where their skin begins to become translucent, so you can see um, their musculature, their organs. You can see what's underneath the skin. You can see through the skin. And remember, I was just talking about early disease detection. There's some stuff there, to be thought about for sure. It doesn't really play like a super major role in the story, but when I had heard what Tom was up to medically, and then this is the way the disease presents itself, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I mean, imagine what that would mean for a pregnant mother. I mean, being able to just look and kind of see what's going on. Anyways, so um everyone is quarantined, everyone is trapped, everyone is stuck in this apartment complex. We're pretty local there. Like, we're local to the people in this apartment complex, the drug dealer across the hall, the woman upstairs, this and that, and all this is going on, and certain things start to happen. Um, and Grace and Tom's relationship really starts to degrade. And I'm not going to go too much into that, but there is a degradation here. Now this book for me, like, it went to a place that I really liked, like more than just the apocalyptic scenario, more than just the isolation, the being stuck, the not even being able to go out and get food, the illegal, or the looting, the illegal activities and the looting and the stuff that is going on in this new Wild West like existence, more so than that, I really like where this went. And it went to for a compressed, localized story, it went to a big place, a big um, ending. And I normally would go into that. And I normally would kind of tell you a very, very brief synopsis of what that is, because it's hard for me to tell you why I thought it was so good and why I enjoyed that. I will say there is a demonic, biblical, angels, demons aspect to it, which I know because as that came out of my mouth, I was like, that's going to turn them off. But there's this aspect to it. There's also this aspect that this infection, this disease, this being able to see what people actually look like on the inside is only affecting people that have done something wrong, people that are possibly bad people, people that are evil people, possibly. And that in itself is interesting. And I'm going to kind of stop right there because, again, where it goes is pretty cool. I will say one thing, and if you've read this book, it might give you a little bit of clue, but I'm gonna um I'm gonna link it only to one book, and I had some feelings of Blake Crouch's Recursion, which I absolutely loved. There was a little bit of stuff in here that I related to that, and I felt. But yeah, it is a cool book. It is, I'm assuming, a second novel. It's 150 pages. It felt much, much thicker than that. I think it could have been much, much thicker than that. But look, I appreciate that. I appreciate getting this type of story in 150 pages. One other thing, because it is yeah, I mean this idea of, again, we'll go briefly back to Tom's medical stuff, of a rat in a cage, or a rat in a maze, sorry. And then you relate that to humans trapped in like an apartment complex. But art, there's art, and it's not overwhelming. It's not, I mean, let's just say, for sake of argument, every 20 pages. I'm not sure, but there's really, really wonderful art in here. I'll show you a couple more pieces if I can, or I'll just show you one more piece if I can get to one easily. I was going to flip straight to the back of the book because I know that there's one in the back, but I do not want to, if that gives anything away, I don't want to show you that one. So here is a picture of like one of these underground explosions. Let's see if I got one more here. I may not. But there's art throughout. Not a lot. I don't even remember what's going on here, but I'm going to show you that real quick. So the art is cool. It's dynamic. It's black and white. The text is spaced out. Like there's a double there's just like a double space between paragraphs. And look, I'll take it how I can get it. I can read dense line up on line up on line books. I can do that. A lot of books are that way. I don't perp I don't like enjoy that necessarily. I like when it feels like the pages are turning, and because of that, this book does that. I mean, I think I read 150 pages in two sittings. Really, I think I started it one night, finished it the next morning. So, yeah, I enjoyed this. Again, probably 3.5 to 4 star range. This is Lowlands by Adam Cosco. Anyway, appreciate you being here. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be getting into The Heart of a Child probably within the next month because I enjoyed this experience enough that I want to check this one out. So it's been Well Red Beard. I hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.